Hey everyone, back with another diet update. Let's get it started. So I weighed this morning. I'm 163.2, which I believe is about 0.8 pounds down from yesterday. Probably just water weight melting down, I would imagine. The food eaten today included 2 eggs on 2 keto toasts, 2 sausages, an egg sandwich on keto toast as well, and a bowl of sliced cucumbers with lime and chili. Pretty good. I made the eggs on toast with the sausage, and my sister and mom made the egg sandwich, and I'm not sure who made the cucumber with the lemon and the chili, but it might have been my mom or my sister. All right. Well, what did I have for dinner? I had a Spam sandwich with keto bread, the last of it, by the way, mustard, mayonnaise, chili powder, and a cup of water. And then the last things I had today was my vitamins and a Diet Mountain Dew courtesy of my sister. So that's what I ate. Any dedicated exercise? No, not really. Pretty much just walking around the store, which I know that's not really exercise, but it's something, you know. I mean, it's exercise. It's just not dedicated exercise. All right. Well, that's the diet update. Let's get on with the daily update. I woke up at around 10 o'clock this morning. When I got up, I headed straight towards the television, and I was just browsing YouTube until I found a video about the Lord of the Rings, the behind the scenes special features, and was basically a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings franchise, getting into contact with the men who were responsible for the behind the scenes of those movies, asking them detailed questions about why they, how they got involved and why they got involved in their methods and different ways of doing their separate projects that ultimately ended up being the behind the scenes for the Lord of the Rings movies. Then I was recommended the behind the scenes to the Lord of the Rings itself. I put it in my liked videos section because I enjoy watching those videos of how these classic films were made. I may come back to it later. Afterwards, I was watching a video, basically a compilation of different clips of how people are using the new Sora technology. And it's basically really weird. People are, for whatever reason, putting the scientist Stephen Hawking in a lot of ridiculous situations. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess it's because it's funny, but I just think it's ridiculous. But there's other weird stuff, like Michael Jackson stealing fried chicken and then dancing about it, and SpongeBob in like a police body cam footage, making a break for it because he doesn't want to get a ticket for driving bad. All kinds of strange stuff. Someone even generated an entire episode of the TV show South Park, which I've never really watched South Park. It's not a show I'm really been into. I just know it from hearsay or from clips I've seen online of people posting, but I've never sat down and watched a whole episode. But based on what I have seen, it does seem pretty accurate to what that show is. So yeah, I'd say Sword 2 is pretty scary by the fact that it could threaten so many entertainment-based jobs. It's kind of sad. I wish AI was focused on doing the jobs no one wanted to do, like mundane or dangerous, and then humans could instead dedicate their energy to doing jobs that were actually fun or spiritually fulfilling, but instead we're having the robots do the stuff that's supposed to be fun and spiritually fulfilling while we do all the manual labor. It seems pretty backwards, not gonna lie. I won't lie though that I do find a lot of the stuff that people release with using Sora 2 extremely funny and entertaining, that's for sure, but at the same time it does make you wonder what the future of humanity is if we keep on seeing AI progress at this rapid of a pace. Well, anyways, afterwards I decided to do a little breathwork exercise, and my sister got up. I offered breathing exercise with her. She said she only do one that was 5 minutes. I tried to find one that was really offered a lot of interesting benefits, but a lot of the ones I found were only 15 minutes on up. So I told her, and she said she wasn't interested unless I found a 5-minute one. So I was like, all right. So I went to work a little bit on my Brain Jam Extra YouTube channel in my room. And in the midst of doing that, I was also working on my Pizza Nuggets commercial remake. And as I was doing that, I was getting caught up looking up videos of 5 minutes breathwork with the Breath Was Handy YouTube channel. And I did end up finding some that I thought would be good. So I stopped working on 2 different projects at once, and I told my sister I found a 5-minute one. She agreed to do that one. We had a little breathwork sesh for 5 minutes, and overall she seemed to like it. She told me she felt like she was a mermaid by the ocean and then went into fresh water, which is an interesting explanation after doing a breathwork session. Haven't really heard anyone describe it. To be fair though, I think I'm the only one other than my sister who I know has done breathwork, so pretty interesting. Well, anyways, after that, I went back to my room and I just continued working on the Pizza Nugget commercial remake. And as I was doing it, I was watching a YouTube video of a guy talking about why half the population of America is sick, and it has to do with lead poisoning. So that's pretty sad. And as I was watching while working on my little video project, my sister brought in, my mom arrived. I greeted her, said hello, and then I went back to working on what I was doing. Then my sister brought in 2 keto toasts with egg on them, like an egg spread with mayonnaise, and I ate that. That was pretty good. Then she brought in some sliced up cucumber with lime and chili, and that was pretty good too. Then it was time for me to go, so I got dressed. I said goodbye to my mom and my sister, and I drove off for work. And work was good. No problems whatsoever. The first hour was spent in front end bagging. I distinctly remember some customers were new to the whole bag change thing of paper, and we got a lot of people saying they were upset about it because they tried bringing their food in, but the food ripped through the bottom of the paper bag, and then others said they used the plastic to pick up their animals' poop, and now they can't use the plastic anymore, and they don't know if they can use the paper. So it was a wide variety of different customer reactions on the switch to paper. It was pretty interesting. Personally, I think it's easier to pack, but also I think it's a total bummer that they don't include a handle. I think I might have said that yesterday. Yeah, I probably did. Well, I'm saying it again today. But anyways, but overall, yeah, hearing people's reaction was very unique and cool. Well, after my first hour of doing bagging, my next hour was spent doing a lot, which was pretty smooth. No issues whatsoever. When my second hour of work was done out doing a lot, I asked for my only break since it's a half shift today from 4 to 8, and I was granted it. So I spent that time getting some water from a nearby place for free. And then I was on my phone trying to generate some new footage for the Pizza Nugget commercial remake. And I was able to get something new in there and download it for later. Then I spent the next hour bagging once again. Nothing too wrong. I did help some older folk who used the scooters who weren't able to bring the food onto the wheel or the conveyor belt. So that was nice. Yeah. And after that, I remember I was in charge of sweeps for the last hour, and I was also asked by one of my coworkers who was closing that night if I could do trash. So I was like, why not? I'll do it. So I took out all the trashes, and man, the trashes outside, it was a wreck because the trashes seeped in with the bags, and I had to dig out the bags. Luckily, there was some gloves in the deli that I could use, so I didn't have to get all that dirty germs all over my skin. But yeah, it sucks that I had to pull out the trash bags that were lost in there in the first place. It would have been nice if they clung to the, corner or rim of the trash instead of falling in. But oh well, I was able to do what I had to. For the second trash bin, I literally had to remove trash into a separate trash bag, so that way I could find where the trash I was holding the original trash in their trash bag was. So it was basically a little hassle in there, but I was able to do it. And then I took out the front end trash and the bathroom trash and the break room trash and the custodial trash. Took all that out, threw it away, and of course I punched in for my sweeps for the half hour and the last half hour, and then I was walking up to punch out. One of my coworkers asked me if I wanted to get some of the pretzels that were being made available for free for workers at the store, and I said, well, that does sound good. They do have honey mustard, they have cinnamon sugar and regular, but the thing is I'm on a low carb diet, and so I couldn't really eat it. I mean, I suppose I could get it right now and then wait until I can eat it, but honestly on my cheat days I prefer saving the meals for like actual full fat meals instead of little snacks that'll destroy my appetite. So maybe I won't get it. And anyways, I asked them, hey, which one do you prefer? And they're like, oh, I like sweet. And I'm like, oh, okay. But they said they wanted to try the honey mustard instead because they think they know it. They want to try it. Yeah. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. So yeah. Anyways, I punched out. I said goodbye to my coworkers. I walked over to the car. I put on the rest of a video I was watching earlier before leaving about lead poisoning in America on my way home. And then when I got home, I spent a lot of time in my car, like an hour, generating new frames and then using those frames for starting image video generations on Google VO3 through the FX Lab app. And yeah, I got some footage in there. I was putting it into the timeline on InShot on my phone. And then I finally decided to get out. My mom was there. She said she was waiting for me. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Got caught up editing and making new footage for this little video project. And then she said, well, we've got different things in the fridge you could work on. And, well, we did have Spam. And, I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Spam. I really only ate it because we literally don't have much else right now. So I had like a Spam and cheddar sandwich. My mom thankfully cut the cheddar. That was very nice of her. And so, yeah, I put that into the sandwich with mustard, mayonnaise, a little chili powder, and I had some water with that. And we watched 2 reviews on the movie Sinners. And basically, the gist is that Sinners is about like someone who like it's a struggle between a simulation into a culture that isn't originally yours, or maintaining your original culture and having integrity for what you originally like came from and believe in, and keeping that alive instead of assimilating to something that you were never like meant to be a part of, I suppose, is the general message I got from those reviews, which does bring the movie Sinners in a more interesting context. Yeah, I would say it makes it a little more depthful for sure. I just saw it as like a silly vampire movie that I wasn't super invested in, but apparently there's a little more subtext in there I was missing, and I guess I could appreciate the movie on that level now. So that's cool. Well, after that, we watched one more video about like the bloat in the Beetlejuice sequel, and how it kind of ruined the movie's pacing. So yeah, I didn't really like that Beetlejuice movie. I just thought it was kind of a slog to get through. But yeah, after we're done watching that, my mom needed to go to bed, so I pretty much spent the rest of the night just browsing different videos on YouTube and working on my pizza nugget remake. Before eventually my sister arrived, I asked her, I thought you had work. Then she said the place she was working at was closed today, so I was like, okay. And then she was feeding her cat hot Cheetos, which is pretty interesting. And she let me have some Diet Mountain Dew, and gave me like $2 for splitting a streaming service. That was the one we watched Sinners on HBO Max between me, her, and our mom. And yeah, I showed her what I was working on. She thought it was pretty cool. And then I said goodnight. I brushed my teeth, and then I was just messing more around with the commercial and watching some of the footage from the original and some videos from the YouTube channel that made a lot of it made the original video I was basing the video I'm working on off of. And I was like, oh, I need to make my update video. So here it is. And I'm gonna post this and then go to sleep. So there you go. Hope you got something out of this. And now I will bid you adieu. Good night, everybody.